Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the H&H Connect platform. We are excited today to have one of our first featured speakers joining us today from Creative Retailer Magazine. Heidi, I'm going to let you do your own little intro because you'll do it far better than me. So why don't you go ahead and take it away from here?
Well, thank you, Darren. I am very pleased to be here and to be sharing a little bit of hopefully some inspiration and information this morning about social media. But I am Heidi Kaisen, and I wear two hats. I am the publisher, as Darren said, of Creative Retailer Magazine. And I am also the owner of Hen and Chick Studio, which is a quilt shop and retreat center in Conrad, Iowa. So I definitely am seeing, I'll say, social media from several different fronts and feel like I have at least a few hints and tips to pass on today. So we've got the challenge today to talk a little bit about social media and supercharging your social media. I think it is so important to start with a solid foundation of your social media. And so I have several different things that I just want to go over and touch on and talk about, and we'll have a few things to show, that kind of thing. So first of all, if you are not already doing social media, I so encourage you to pick a social media platform that works best for you, and you do not have to do it all. I think there is a pressure, maybe I don't know, a feel that we've got to be everywhere. Well, in reality, we do need to be everywhere because people are everywhere. But as a small business owner, there is absolutely no way that without a huge staff that you can easily do that. So I always like to encourage you at least to pick one format. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Pick a social media platform that works best for you, and then be consistent with your posts. Do what is manageable for you. Again, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a theory about how often you should be posting, when you should be posting, how long should your post be, how much words should your post be, how many links should it have? Should it have links? Should it have photos? I mean, we could go on and on about all of that. And again, that can get to be overwhelming. And there are days when I do say to myself, you know what? The world will revolve today if there's no social media posts from Hen and Chick Studio. The world will go on. So it's okay to figure out what works best for you. So pick a platform, be consistent, do what is manageable. Understand what is your goal with social media posts. What are you trying to accomplish with that? Is your goal to bring in new customers, retain current customers, engagement? You want to engage them. And my staff member will grab that phone in just a second. So hang on. But what is your goal? So we're talking about customers. We're talking about selling product. I'm assuming that each of you is in some type of either retail business or as a designer, or I mean, whether you're online or you're brick and mortar, or whether you're a designer or a manufacturer, we're all selling something at the end of the day. So is your goal to sell product? What about creating community? And boy, Darren, I have to just, applaud you and your speakers at H&H Americas this June. I think if I heard it once, I heard it multiple times, that community is very important, and being able to create that community online and be able to encourage everybody is important. So how are you using your social media to create your community? And branding. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you offer to your customers? And those are just a few things that fall under branding, and that your social media posts can hit on and help you succeed with. Once you understand your goals, and know where you're going and what you want to accomplish, and maybe it's all of those things, okay? It doesn't have to be just one of them, but maybe it's all of those things. It will help you determine better how you create your social media posts. A little exercise that one of our business experts at Creative Retailer, and one of the things you should know about Creative Retailer, I love the fact it's like I've got all these experts right at my fingertips in helping me and leading me in bettering my business, or bettering it up. I don't know. I felt like I should maybe say that, but in bettering my business. And so when I mention a few of these are people who are experts. This is what they focus on in their daily lives. And we're lucky enough that they write for our publication. So when you get a copy of Creative Retailer magazine, and there is like physically a copy, or you can get a digital version as well, that it's like you've got all these business experts at your fingertips ready to help you. Okay. So here's what I'm going to share a screen here. Let's see if I can get to the right window. So here's a little exercise that Tracy Walker had us do actually at a live event that Creative Retailer held last year. And I thought it was brilliant. And this is going to sound really funny. She actually had us pull up our Instagram pages or Facebook page. And I'll show you, you could do it. I'll show you how you can do it there too, in case you don't know. And look at the main page and then say, do a little scroll. Are the images that I am showing reaching the goals that I have for my business? Can you, from the images that you're looking at, can you tell what kind of a business I have and what it is I'm selling? And if you're welcome to put something in the comments, you're welcome to, or it could be, you don't have to answer either, but can you do that with yourself? The next thing would be have a friend and hopefully somebody else in business that also, okay, understands this, and you pull up your Instagram and hand your phone to them and have them scroll through your phone and go, what is it that we see? Okay. Now, one of the things that is important to me is that we're showing quilts and people working on things. So we've got handwork up here. There's somebody here sewing. There's the sound of a long arm here. There's a picture of me. Quilting is very personal, and it's very important to me that not only are we showing quilts, as you can see, but we're also showing smiles. Again, it's important for my business, might not be for yours. You can fine tune this however you like, that it is important for my customers to see themselves in my social media. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that they're actually seeing a picture of themselves, but people like them. Okay. So I'm going to scroll back up, kind of thing. So what is it that you're seeing? Now, if you are on Facebook, and somebody let me know that when I switch screens, because sometimes this doesn't always work, I have to unshare and reshare. If I switch to Facebook, do you see Facebook? Give me a thumbs up. Are you seeing Facebook? Okay. And I apologize here. It went to, let me go back to, okay. So here's my Hen and Chick Studio page. Here's my business page. If I wanted to, again, look at what the photos were showing, kind of thing, I simply go to this bar here where it says more, and I look at photos. So I'm not necessarily going through post by post, but again, from the post and the photos that I see, are the images, this is not even discussing the words, but are the images meeting the goals that I have for my business? And, you know, it's so interesting that when somebody writes down what their goals are, and how that affects them, you'll be surprised as to, like, for example, I looked at somebody's phone, and that particular business, she talked about wanting to be a um uh how do you want to say, an educator, and yet there was not one word, not one picture of her. And I'm like, well, how do people know that you teach and educate if your picture and you somehow teaching that is never on that space? So we, again, like, everybody has to do what's right for their business, but some food for thought as to how you might evaluate the images that you're posting in your social media. So, could you do more of something, less of something? What is the story you're trying to tell? What is your current plan for social media? Or do you have a plan at all? Or are you winging it every step of the way? Okay. Again, everybody has an idea of how this should be. And I'm going to say, keep it simple and make it work for you. If that means that you post one time a week and that's all you can handle, then do that, and do that one post a week well. Okay. Because you want something fresh on that page, something different. Okay. I get a little more, I got a little more dressed up for you today, and I drew a little picture. And I tend to sometimes grab any scratch piece of paper, and when I sit down for the week and think about my social media posts for the following week, I literally draw lines, day across the week, and a morning, afternoon, and I write down video. And the idea being that ideally, I would like, this is my goal, a post in the morning, a post in the afternoon, and regular video. That doesn't mean daily video, and maybe the video replace one of the morning posts or the afternoon posts. Okay. But I literally have this scratch piece of paper, and I sit down and I go, okay, my goal is that my Tranquil Mystery quilt event, which starts August 25th, is full. I want there to be attention given to that. So I will find different ways to post that, but I'll just write down and go, I want to talk about the mystery quilt Sunday in the morning, Tuesday in the afternoon, Thursday in the morning, Friday in the afternoon, Saturday, like however many times I think, and I'll write that that's the mystery, that post is going to be about the mystery quilt. Customers, again, I'll say Tracy Walker and many, many other marketing specialists tell you over and over that a customer needs to hear the message at least 7 to 8 times before they hear it, before they see it. The other thing you have to remember when talking about posts, and I did look up some current information, is that Facebook controls how your posts are going up. And my mother is my biggest fan, right? And she's constantly following me. And she doesn't necessarily comment or like, but she's pulling those posts up. And sometimes it's days later after I do something, and she'll say, oh, Heidi, that was a great video. Or, oh, I saw and I have to stop and think and say, oh yeah, I did that 2 days ago, Mom. But the point is that Facebook controls the algorithms. We are not in control of that. So just because you post doesn't mean that everybody's going to see it. And so I'm going to read this, what I found in an article, a recent article, is that the current average reach for an organic Facebook post is just 2.2%, but could be as low as 1.1% for some brand pages. To put this in perspective, if I have a Facebook page with 1,500 followers. I have more, but just to give an example, that means that as few as 33 people actually see your post. So when I don't want to ever hear somebody say, oh, I posted about that. Yeah, I already posted about that. No, you didn't. Post them about it, post about them again, post about it again. And I love Leanne Presley, and many of you know her from her work with H&H, as well as her own business. She, one time in a presentation that I did in Kansas City, she said, let's see if I can phrase this correctly. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to tell you something. Then I'm going to tell you that I'm telling you that something. And then I'm going to tell you that I told you that something. So do you get the idea? She's given a pre, then the real thing, and then a post. You literally can talk about the same topic in different ways. So let's use my tranquil mystery as an example. It's a mystery quilt, right? So I have to be creative with the words and the images. And so I have created several different images, some that say tranquil mystery, some that say join me, one that says grab your fabrics. And they all have the same website address on them so that people get directed back. But that way I have different content to post the exact same message. Once people started signing up, and then I encourage them to post their fabric choices into our Facebook group. Now I'm grabbing images from those Facebook posts and I'm saying, look, here are the fabrics that these people have chosen for the mystery quilt. Let's solve this together. Okay. So there are different ways. And of course, a product, if it was a product like I'm going to say a seam ripper. Okay. So I've got an actual object in front of me. Oh my gosh. We could have our hands actually using that seam ripper. I hate to do that, but using it. It could be laying next to my tools, really pretty in a pretty picture. It could be in the packaging if it came in packaging. Whatever that is, you could again show the same seam ripper in multiple ways. So I encourage you to think about, how many different ways you could use that. And I have to say that I am attacking this tranquil mystery, and I have to date over 100 participants, which is a record for me. And I honestly believe it's because I'm doing all of these things that I'm talking about, is that I'm posting and I'm reposting. Another interesting thing that I have been doing recently, because sometimes it's the words that become difficult for us, right? And we go, oh my gosh, I'm saying the exact same thing. I don't know how else to say it. So have you ever played with AI? And that is artificial intelligence. It's in the news right now in lots of ways, not necessarily all good. And I know that we're going to be hearing a lot about it in the future. I'll say my brother is a patent lawyer, and he and I have had some very interesting conversations about what this means for all of us in technology. But in its simplest form, it can really help. And there are different ways of getting AI. So I, for example, use Constant Contact for my email, and they are using a beta program for AI for helping you create your content for your newsletters and emails that you send out. So what I have been doing and playing with is like I type in the words, join our mystery quilt event. And I choose the verbiage of I want it to be enthusiastic, right? And it's a promotion. And it's great. It's like generating new phrases for me of, solve the mystery. And I can't even come up with a couple of them they did recently, but it helped me go, oh, I don't want to take that whole piece of information, but it gave me a different opening line. It gave me a different way to phrase join, because instead of just keep saying, join our mystery quilt, join our mystery quilt, we're having fun, join our mystery quilt, I needed to spice it up a little bit. So it's been a very interesting way of using AI to help that. Okay. So that, and in general, I think when posting any topic, you can post it more than once and not feel like you are hitting anybody over the head with it. Because I can guarantee you, come August 26th, there will be people go, oh, I didn't know you were doing a mystery quilt. And I have talked about it on live. I've talked about it in email. I've talked about it on social media. And there will still be those people that, oh, had no idea you were doing that. And so you want to have a plan for that. Okay. And if anybody's got questions, I would love, again, I see something in the chat. Maybe I better pull that up. Just a thank you. And, but anyway, if you've got a question and want to throw it in the chat, great. If you want to come on live and ask the question, I don't have any problem with that as well. I would love this to be an interactive conversation because I think we all have the opportunity to learn from each other. So again, that invitation is out there that if you'd like to come on, would like to do that. All right. And so my little simple graph, it's how I organize my thoughts. Again, you can get super detailed however you want, but it helps me to I would say have a little paper map to go by so that when I get into the software and onto the website to enter it all in, I don't get confused. I'm like, and then I can make an X like, yes, I got that one posted, or, oh, wait a minute, I need a photo for that. It also does that. It helps me create, I'll say, a list of what I might need. It also helps me find problems on my website. It's amazing when I go in and I say, oh, I'm going to post about this particular quilt. And then I find out there's no description copy, or, oh, we forgot to put the size of the quilt in. So it's also a great way to really keep on top of all of your elements. Okay.
I have a quick question, Heidi.
Yes, you bet.
When you are posting what feels like the same thing over and over and over to get to that, rule of 7 concept or something, how do you keep it interesting and engaging for yourself so you don't get in a rote voice or something? How do you keep it exciting?
Well, and that's a little bit talking about the different images, trying to find different ways of how to show that. Again, if I can put my hands in the photo or have somebody else in the picture with it, that is always helpful. And then it's also about the copy. And sometimes it's, when I have a conversation with a customer and they had a question about, this is where you got to always listen as a retailer. So if a customer comes in and they're like, yeah, I don't really understand a mystery quilt. So I try to take that conversation and go, okay, if she questioned that, then I know somebody else does. And for example, last year, I got the question, or the last time we did a mystery quilt, is it $15.95 every time I get a clue? And I'm like, oh no, it's a one-time payment of $15.95. So this time, as I'm posting, I am making sure I say, this is a one-time fee. So like really trying to answer the questions that somebody might have from a mystery quilt. So that's how I like to keep it interesting. And if I can ever involve my customers in either the inspiration, like if they've buying fabric and it's so pretty, I take a picture and go, oh, look what so-and-so bought. I don't necessarily, I'll say, look what Millie bought. I don't say look what Millie Curly bought. You know what I mean? I say first name only kind of thing. But if anytime I can involve a customer in that, or make the words sound like I'm having a conversation with my customer, I think the better the post. That help? Okay, good. Okay. Again, any other questions? Don't hesitate. We love having that discussion on the air here. Okay. So another thing is, how are you posting? Okay. So these days, and I'm going to pull up, I've done a variety of things because I've had staff doing a variety of things. And let me see if I can, go back here. Let's see if this works. Because I've had staff in different places and different things. So I've paid to have use like Zoho Social, because at the time that was the best answer for what I could do. But I will tell you that I have stopped paying and have gone to the Meta Suite. So if I'm on my Facebook page and see down here where it says Meta Business Suite. So if I click on that and go to Planner, then I can see the posts that I have scheduled. Okay. And so like I've already done a live video this morning, so it's already showing up here. But this is where I am going to post to both Facebook and Instagram, and I can also post to my group. So my Facebook group. So I can do all of those, and I can specialize. Let's go to create so you can see. I can actually, so there's Facebook. I can add in Instagram, and I can see more groups, and I can click on my creative community. Sometimes I post in the All Iowa Shop Hop group because we're allowed to. And so I've selected 3 places. Then I could add my photo, my video kind of thing. I can also customize my text so that literally as I am typing text, so say, for example, if I'm doing the mystery quilt and I need to tag Celine Perkins from Perkins Dry Goods. Apparently I can't type. Her post will it'll eventually, there it comes. I can actually pull up her tag for Facebook. I can do the same when I click on Instagram. I then also can schedule and save as a draft. So if I'm in the middle of something and I need to go back and oh, I need an image, a better image than that, then I can, but I can also schedule, and I can schedule my Facebook and my Instagram posts to be different. Okay. So if I thought that those differences would make a difference, or if I know the data that goes with that, then you can make those differences. You can make those changes right there. Okay. This brings me to knowing a little bit more about your customer. When you think about Facebook versus Instagram and other social media platforms, you really have to know your customer and where you need to be posting. So I first of all am going to say, I am an avid believer that you need to have your own website. If you do not have a website that is yours and yours alone, I encourage you to get that and to figure out, even again, if it's simple, because we do not own Facebook or Instagram. And this week here in small town Iowa, one of our local businesses was hacked on her Facebook account, and she cannot get it back. And she's working with Facebook, but literally her Facebook account was gone like that. And so at the end of the day, you do not own Facebook or Instagram. It's simply a tool that we're lucky enough, and I mean that, to use for free. So use it, but be aware that it is not your only avenue to reach customers. This is why emails are so important. And I'm not going to get into email marketing today, but collecting information from your customers is critical. because I said, well, if Hen and Chick Studio got hacked today and I was off of Facebook because of that, not a problem. I've got over 8,000 people on my email database, and I have a very strong website. My live videos go directly to my website. So I would not be, dead in the water. That is not true for a lot of us, a lot of people. So again, just make sure you understand that. But Facebook does give you a lot of data and a lot of insight about your customers that you can use while you are trying to figure out where you're going and what you're doing. So understanding your audience is important. And as much as we are a tactile business and a feel good kind of business, and I get as emotional about things and hug people and, shed a good tear over, whatever. Being a business owner has to have some non-emotional facts and strategies to making your business better. And I work by my gut. I have a lot of gut feelings, but I love it when I can back that up with data. And so if you've never been into the back end of your Facebook page, and again, in that Meta Business Suites, and I guess I could go back there real quick. Let's go back here, share. Let's go back here. And there is actually an insights page like this. Okay. So a couple of things that when I was going through this the other day that I wrote down, and most of it is let's say stuff that I do understand and do know, but by all means, certainly want to be able to back this up. So for example, 75% of my Facebook followers are women over the age of 55 years old. I'm 55. They're my age and older. And I'm young, right? Okay. You can all assure me of that, right? Okay. 47% are over 65 years of age. So, there are times when I make decisions of my words. So like, I'm trying to think of the word. I have two 16-year-old daughters. I don't want to make them older than they are. But I have two 16-year-old twins. And one of their favorite words right now is bussin'. And so if we go to a restaurant and the food is good, it's bussin'. Something, if I use that word in my social media, do you think anybody would understand, unless they happen to have teenage daughters or children in the house, what that word means? No. And so, and Martha, I did not go scroll down. I did not dig into every, do you guys want me to go back there? I'm sorry, I didn't. I was just showing you the page to go to. So let me go back. So let's see, go back here. So there's different places within the insight. So when you go into insights, there's all these absolutely different things that you can click on. I'm not going to click on every one of those during our conversation this morning, or we would be here all day. But what I'm giving you is some of the differences. And so like if I scroll down, it probably starts to tell me where some of this stuff is. Okay. So that's where I went through all of this and was reading it in detail. But I have 10,000 business followers on my business page for Facebook compared to 2,300 followers in Instagram. Now, it doesn't mean I don't post on Instagram. And in fact, I'm posting pretty much the same stuff on Facebook as I'm posting in Instagram. But what that tells me is that people who follow Hen and Chick Studio are more likely to be on Facebook than on Instagram. Your business might be the opposite. Okay. And that's fine. Maybe Instagram is what you choose. Maybe that's your only choice of a social media. No problem. If that's what you've trained your customers to do, great. But for me, I know that Facebook right now is the place where my customers are. They consistently see more from Facebook than they do from Instagram. And I can tell you, this is where it's so interesting. How does that translate? How does that translate? How does that post translate, right? Because at some point, oh my gosh, we could create all sorts of beautiful photos and beautiful posts. But if it does not get the customer in the door, or whatever that action is that you need them to do, then it's not accomplishing your goal. So you asked what you have to look at is like, say, did this, what accomplished? So I can tell you that I know people when they come in the store and they go, oh, I saw this on Facebook, or at least they think they saw it on Facebook, right? And they buy it, or we see the activity. So I know, I feel like I have data to back it up, that Facebook posts in general gain more insight for me as a business owner. Again, not necessarily yours. Okay. I also can tell you from going through all of these is that video tends to get more coverage than a regular post. And that is absolutely a no-brainer. Okay. And video, again, is a whole nother topic, and a whole nother topic of social media posts. I do, Andrea is going to post in the links or in the chat. Last week, we did a free webinar, free seminar, whatever you want to call it, little chat again about video. And it was in reaction to something that's happening in our quilt industry. We have a fabric company who is challenging retailers to create video to enter in his contest. And we all know that video does get you attention. Therefore, we helped by doing a little demo. And I tried to show, if I did 3 videos during the seminar itself. I did one, me holding the camera. Then I did one where somebody else was holding the camera, plus we added some pizzazz to it, words, overlays, that kind of stuff. And then the third one was alive. And I literally had somebody else holding the camera. And I tried to do the same content in all 3 videos so that you had a better idea of, I'll say, what happens, kind of thing. And but Andrea will give you that. It's a free YouTube. We put it on YouTube for retailers. And I think there's definitely some information you can garner off of that. But video is far more important than I think we'd like to think. And we have to get over the fear of doing it and what you sound like or look like. It doesn't matter. People love video. All right. And Martha has a question. I'm going to read it here. How do you keep it professional only? Last time I looked, I saw you have a personal Facebook before having a business Facebook. I don't want a personal page. How do you keep it professional only? Okay. Great question, Martha. Great question. I think they've changed these days. I think now you can create a business page without having a personal page. I've had my Facebook pages quite a long time, and we had to have a personal page in order to create a business page. I decided a long time ago that my personal page was simply an extension of my business. So yes, every once in a while you might see a picture of my children. Yes, the thing at the top changes, and it usually is my children, my family, that kind of thing. But in general, the only things I post on there are I keep forwarding or sharing all of my posts from Hen and Chick Studio to that group. And I have, I think, over 4,000 friends. And again, part of that is I had a life before Hen and Chick Studio and Creative Retailer. I was the editor of Better Homes and Gardens, American Patchwork and Quilting magazine. I've also been at APQS. So I know quilting people and people know me. And so I definitely wanted to have a personal presence, but I do not post personal items, if you want to say really personal items, on my Facebook page, like the girls and I have this conversation, my twins, I have a son as well. But, I don't post things like, oh, school starts next Wednesday. I'm so sad they're going back to school. I might be sad and I might tell my mother that, or I might tell them that, that I won't get to hang out with them every day, but I don't go post those kinds of things on my personal page. Does that make sense how I keep it? I keep that separate. So again, and Martha, if you have any other questions, let me know. And I don't think you should have to have a personal page these days. Does that help, Martha? Okay, good. Because yeah, it could get crazy. But again, because people, if you want to say, happen to know me from a variety of ways, and my name is unique in that there aren't too many Heidi Kaisens out there. I just don't. I keep it very professional as well. So, okay. Yes, and Andrea has put in the Facebook link. Please enjoy that. And again, if you have questions about that, we're actually doing later today. If you have time to watch it and have questions at 3:00 today, we're doing a follow-up live Q&A that if somebody is worried about their video or whatever, has questions, that we want to help those retailers get their videos done. Get them done. And they don't have to be long again. And I think short videos is critical because again, when you look at the statistics, Facebook is judging by the people who watch them for 3 seconds. So your first 3 seconds have to be engaging and have to have that smile on your face, and you've got to get them linked, recruited in. And I do a variety of lives, but I did one this morning. I do one typically Wednesday mornings at 9. I had 45 people watching live. And then we, of course, that's always on Facebook. I'll eventually later today upload it to YouTube, have it in different places so that people can see that content. Because even if it's just another piece of content that people can use. Okay, let me go back to my list because my gosh, the time keeps going, and I don't want to bore you at all. So here's my next, I'll say, comment is that you don't need to go overboard, right? I mean, this is where, again, balance it with what you can handle. If you've got teenagers and they can help you post, awesome. But if you're trying to wear every hat in the business, which so many of us are, it's okay to keep it simple. Again, consistency is important, and like choosing one platform. And so if you can do those two things, eventually what'll happen, and because this is what happened to me, eventually you go, oh, that's really pretty easy to do one post a day. Oh, wait a minute. It's pretty easy to do one video a week. You know what? I can do 2 videos a week. Oh, wait a minute. I can now do 2 posts a day. Oh, you know what? Now I'm coming up with all sorts of ideas. Hey, I got a staff member that can do this. She's going to help me. And now we're creating, cute little videos. So again, build upon it. Nobody started up here doing it all, and absolutely can start simple. Does anybody else want to come on and ask questions, or have a question about the, when we were talking about, I'll say, social media, that you're like, oh, I wish she would have asked or said, fill in the blank. I am here. And yes, Laura, do you have a comment, or did I just you? Yes. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I've noticed that a lot of people do want a little bit of personal side on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still keep it professional, but sort of have a little personal thing. My go-to is, I'm in the garden, look at my beautiful flowers. And then you can throw in, I love the red, this would be a great quilt. So you can pull in a little bit of personal, because to them, it keeps you real. And they do want to have that quick little thing about you, but don't be posting about, oh, I'm going shopping. Oh, I'm going here, or this is what's happening in my life. You really don't need those things, because that's information overload. And it can be a security risk too.
Right.
So if you're going on vacation, do not say you're going on vacation until you come back.
And Laura, it is so true. And I think part of why customers want that personalization is that we're in an industry that is very personal. We make things for other people because it's a personal gift. It's because we love them. It's because we want, well, we know their favorite color is this, or they're going off to college or whatever. And so I think it would be a very cold community. And we talk about creating community. Well, it's kind of hard to create a community if we aren't, willing to be part of that. And so like, I'm going to I'll say, throw out a couple more ideas. So I love to take pictures. And so it is not uncommon for me, and I do scrapbooking on the side and stuff too, kind of thing, right? Got to capture all those kind of things. So for example, we were in Florida in June, and I always take my handwork with me. But I also, I'm also taking pictures of my girls playing volleyball, or maybe Henry's out on the farm, that kind of thing. So every once in a while, I throw in a picture like that because it just helps people understand who I am and what how I take my creativity everywhere I go. And so, it's fun. I could get off on that tangent because I do think there's lots of things that are important that way. But at the same time, I would agree with you, Laura. And there's I try to be a no complaint type person when it comes professionally. It doesn't mean that I have a perfect world kind of thing, but what I believe our customers want to feel welcomed, and they want to, feel a part of our community, and sometimes they need to be lifted up in their world. And so whatever we can do to do that, again, not that it's not, there's real life conversations we can have too, but there's a little bit of that. I try to keep it all on the positive. So I try to put quotes up, that kind of thing. So if you were on my page, you saw that I had a grateful quote kind of thing. And Darren, I could keep chatting, but I've kind of gone through the biggest points that I have about social media. And if anybody else has questions, I would be glad to answer them. But I also feel like we've reached kind of a time frame here.
Yeah, the only actually thing I would add to all the wonderful things you were sharing is I would encourage people. Also, you can get overwhelmed. Like, how do I post in all of these places? How do I manage all of this, right? Like you were showing Meta's profile
Because
platform.
then it goes in three
Right.
places at once.
Right, and we use one ourselves here for H&H, and it can go to, I think it's 8 different platforms at one time, from Twitter to Facebook to Mastodon to YouTube to TikTok to Pinterest to excuse me, Google Business, many different things. And then when you go through the system, you can actually fine tune when they're going. You can set your calendar up for months at a time. It gives the one that we happen to use, gives you suggestions and themes and ideas to help you try to fill the void of creativity. There's free ones, there's paid ones, there's all sorts of varieties of different things out there. So if you're ever looking for an idea, I would say post it in our group on Facebook or post it somewhere. I'm sure someone could say, here's their personal experience with whatever platform they love. I'm not here to endorse any which one, because there's varieties out there.
Absolutely. And I see Martha has a question, which I will definitely answer, Martha. And I also want to note that you mentioned Google Business. I will tell you, after traveling for 12 days, Google Business is someplace that everybody should also be posting. Again, it doesn't have to be daily, but on a regular basis, because that's how we found a lot of the places we ate, and a lot of the places that we stopped was by looking, Googling quilt shops near me kind of thing, or, Lotus drinks near me, or ice cream near me. And Google Business is pretty in depth there. And also, I encourage you, if you're traveling to post pictures for businesses if you've got something. We had several great experiences, and I posted a picture of our crab dip appetizer. The last time I saw it has about 50,000 views. And so obviously that post is helping that business. And I think that's awesome. I'd love to call them up and say, hey, has anybody come in and ordered the crab ragoon dip? You know, but I haven't. Okay. And Martha, let me go to, let me show you. I use, first of all, my website, I'm going to just switch here because I don't think it'll go unless let me get back there. Go back here. I have to walk myself through it. Hang on. I'm getting there. Here we go. Okay. So my website is through a platform, Rain Retail, like so specifically with the quilting part of it, but Rain Retail. So this is my website. And then up on my tabs here, I have live shopping, and Comet Sold has integrated with Rain Retail. And so literally down here at the bottom, this is the video I did this morning at 9 o'clock. And there I am. And so, and below it are all of the most recent videos in the last couple of weeks. I think it holds 7 or 8 videos. So when I am doing any text marketing or social media marketing, then I use the link for this page. That's where I send them. So like this morning, I could see that I had approximately 25 people on Facebook and 8 to 10 on my website. But again, this is like, as I said earlier, if Facebook shut down, I'm not worried. I can send everybody here and I can continue to do my lives. So I hope that answered that for you. Where do you, oh, do you repost from others? Do you repost from others? And I'm Suzanne. You might come on and make sure that I'm answering this correctly, but do I post from other people? Absolutely. If there is something that is important that my customers need to see, then absolutely I will. And I'm going to use Laura as a great example. Laura creates videos, and those videos are meant to be forwarded and shared, correct? It's a way to say it. Like she's creating them. So if she creates a video about, and she has, because I have shared this, panels and straightening panels, because when they come off the bolt, they're not, and that is a challenge for everybody. I'm going to go to Laura, and she created the video. I don't have to recreate the video. I get to just share Laura's video. And there is actually good stuff about that too, that can happen. So it is fine to share those or to repost from other people. So if that's what you're, that I encourage you to do that. Again, I wouldn't do all of your posts that way, but certainly is not a bad thing.
Can I jump in just a little
Yes.
bit to add to that? You can, anything that is on YouTube it's open. It's not a copyright. So you can't copy it, but you can copy and paste and do that. So if you can, there's ruler videos actual from the companies. You can take those videos and use them to your advantage. You can also upsell or resell if you're not selling from videos. If you have a product that you're thinking of getting in, and let's say I did a video on it or the company did a video on it, it's very easy for you to repost that video and say, hey, I was just going to put an order in. Does anybody want one? So number one, you know how many to order, and maybe then you'll see if people are interested in it. Or if you already have the product, any video out there, you can say, oh, here's a video on this product, come on in and I can teach you with it, help you with it, put it aside for you. And it's a way of YouTube, and these things are almost like commercials for you to use. You just cannot copy written words, but you can repost videos.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laura, for that explanation. I think that's a great way of saying it. And Andrea has put her email address in the chat so that if you are interested, I think Martha looks like she might be interested in our Q&A about video at 3 o'clock today. You are welcome to email Andrea. She'll get you all set up and be able to help you on that. All right. Well, again, my pleasure in being here. And I hope that it's always my goal to be able to share information. My favorite quote is, I'd rather be a river than a reservoir. So anything I know, I'm glad to pass it on. And I hope, Darren, that we've done that today, and look forward to hopefully doing it again.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us this month. Our goal is to bring programs like this once a month at minimum to the community at large, and to keep the crafting community together moving forward, and excuse me, and ultimately bringing everyone back to the physical experience next May here in Chicago. But again, thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great day, everybody.